AI didn't replace coaches. It did something worse. And most people in this space haven't figured out what yet. Because everyone's been worried about the wrong thing. They've been asking, will AI take my job? When the real question is, did AI just make my best work worth $20 a month? I'm going to show you exactly what happened, who it affects, and the one thing that protects you, because most of what you've been told about surviving this is wrong. Here's what I mean. A company called CoachHub launched an AI coaching platform 5 months ago. 60 enterprise clients signed up, 50,000 coaching sessions, not with humans, completed by AI, 70% satisfaction. 84% of users came back for more. That's not a prototype, that's a replacement grade product running at scale inside real companies right now. And last month, a single AI tool, $60 a month, crashed financial advisory stocks 7 to 9% in one afternoon. LPL Financial, Schwab, Raymond James, billions gone. Not because advisors got replaced, because Wall Street realized the part of advisory work most firms charge premium fees for just got commoditized by software. Now, here's what nobody in the coaching and consulting space is connecting yet. The same thing that just happened to financial advisors on Wall Street is happening to every knowledge entrepreneur right now. Coaches, consultants, speakers, advisors, there's no stock ticker to sound the alarm. It's happening one quiet cancellation at a time. And the people who understand what AI actually commoditized and what it can't touch are the ones who come out of this making more money, not less. Stay with me, because the difference between those two groups comes down to something most people have completely backwards. If you're a consultant, a coach, a financial advisor, or a speaker, anyone who gets paid for what you know, this affects you directly. Because what these AI tools actually do is deliver the processing layer of your work. The frameworks, the exercises, the accountability templates, the goal-setting workflows, the stuff you've been packaging into sessions and selling for $200, $300, $500 an hour. AI now does that for $20 a month. Not badly, not in a clunky, obviously robotic way, well enough that 70% of users say they're satisfied. I want to tell you about someone who felt this firsthand, an independent business coach I'll call Kennedy. 8 years in practice, solid client roster, charges $300 a session. About a year ago, a client showed up with a printed action plan. The client said, I ran this through ChatGPT before our call. It gave me pretty much the same framework you use. Can we just start from here? Kennedy told me later the client wasn't being disrespectful. That's what made it worse. The client genuinely couldn't tell the difference between Kennedy's coaching and what a free chatbot produced. Keep that in mind. There's a framework I use to explain what's actually happening. I call it the 2 layers of expertise. Every person who sells expertise operates on 2 layers. Layer 1 is the processing layer. It's what you know, your frameworks, your methodologies, your tools, the actual work product you deliver. For a coach, that's the exercises and accountability structures. For a consultant, it's the strategic frameworks and analysis. For a financial advisor, it's the tax strategies and portfolio recommendations. Layer 2 is the authority layer. It's who you are, your reputation, your published thinking, your named methodology, the reason a client picks you before they ever compare options. It's the thing that exists in the market even when you're not in the room. Here's where the split is forming. AI just commoditized layer 1, the processing, the frameworks, the templates, all of it, available at a scale of $10 to $20 a month. What AI cannot touch is layer 2. It can't make you known. It can't build your reputation. It can't create the reason someone trusts you before they've ever spoken to you. Kennedy's entire practice was built on layer 1. And when clients figured that out, they started asking a question Kennedy wasn't ready for. What exactly am I paying you for that I can't get from a screen? If I could boil all of this down to one sentence, it's this. A computer can now do the homework part of coaching for $20 a month. So the only coaches who get paid are the ones people already trust before they start looking. That changes everything about how you should be building your practice right now. So what happened to Kennedy? One afternoon, a longtime client canceled their retainer. Didn't leave angry, just said they'd started using an AI coaching app between sessions and realized they didn't need the weekly calls anymore. That was the moment. Not a dramatic blow up, just a quiet exit. One client, then another. Then a third who said they were pausing for now. Kennedy looked at the pattern and realized the processing work, the work that filled the calendar, was the part clients could replace. What Kennedy did next is what mattered. Built a named methodology around the one thing no AI could replicate. The specific diagnostic approach Kennedy had developed over 8 years of seeing patterns across hundreds of clients. Published it, gave it a name. Within 10 months, new clients were arriving already familiar with the framework. They weren't comparing Kennedy to a chatbot. They were seeking Kennedy out because of something they'd read, something that made them say, this is the person I need, Same expertise, same work, different evidence that it was worth paying for. Here's what I've seen work over and over. The data backs this up. 6 Sense published their 2025 B2B Buyer Experience Report. They found that 80% of the time, the provider a buyer favors before they ever make contact is the one who wins the deal. That means by the time someone reaches out to you, they've almost certainly already decided. And if you're not on that short list, if you don't have something in the market that made them trust you before they start looking, you were never in the running. No amount of processing skill changes that. No framework, no exercise, no methodology delivered in a session competes with being the known authority in your space before the conversation starts. The difference between the coaches and consultants and advisors who thrive through this and the ones who get quietly replaced isn't talent, it's not experience, it's not even how good their work is. It's whether they built something tangible, something visible that makes them the known authority before the client ever starts shopping. The question most people have at this point is, okay, I understand the 2 layers. I can see where I'm vulnerable, but how do I actually build that authority? How do I take years of expertise that lives in my head and turn it into something a client can find, read, and say, this is my person before we've ever met? Because what I've learned is the ones who make that shift don't just survive the AI wave, they get more valuable. They charge more. Their pipeline fills with people who already believe in them. That's exactly what I walk through in the next video. It covers the extraction process we use to take what you already know, the insights, the patterns, the methodology you've built over years, and turn it into a published authority asset in 90 days without staring at a blank page. It also explains why we back the whole thing with an ROI guarantee, because if your fee depends on layer 1 work right now, on delivering frameworks and exercises that an AI can replicate for $20 a month, that next video is the one you need. Watch it next.